Everyone. Good to see you this Wednesday. For those of you who do not know me, I am Will Sullivan, your host on this new weekly broadcast, Wednesday with Will Live. Why am I here? I love to connect with people, I like to talk, and I enjoy a laugh or two. So, my intent here was to just put something together. I'm a LinkedIn enthusiast, as those of you who watch me know. And I just thought, why not do something live, introduce you to people that have inspired me. Now, I'm going to ask here, I'm doing the controls, I'm saying hello, um, to tell us in the chat where you're coming in from, and I will try to walk and chew gum at the same time and look in the comments and say hello whenever I get a chance to do that. Today's topic, let's talk about today's topic. So I'm trying to do this in a way where we're talking about something that's inspired me, or I think that the community would enjoy, and that's what this is. I created a company called Aspiring Better Human, and I'm doing that because I really believe in taking on projects with people who put the humans first, right? People over profit. So I am inspired by so many on this platform. The generosity of this platform and the people I've met just absolutely astounds me. So here we go. Today's topic is fresh starts. I'm bringing on this stage the other half of Will and Grace. I can't wait to have this conversation with her to set it up a little bit. Here, what we did was we worked at the Met for decades together. We really didn't interact. We kind of knew each other. Our planets, our solar systems never really connected because of the work we were doing. Then what happens? Worldwide shutdowns, pandemic, and we are thrust into working together on a fantastic team to help our museum. We worked at the Metropolitan Museum of Art and New York City reopen after months and months of lockdowns. So we really probably became close because of that shared experience. We became close with many during that experience. And I don't think I'd be here today talking to you or Grace, she's coming from the West Coast, would be talking to you from LA had we not gone through something as transformative as that experience. So I think many of you want to see Grace. I'm just going to bring her up to the stage. And while I bring her up, I will look in the chat and look to see who has joined us. Grace, can you hear me?
I sure can. Good morning.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I love the other half of Will and Grace.
That's me.
Honor. Before we get started, because I want to ask you a bunch of questions and take questions from the chat, we have Joseph from Florida. Joseph.
I don't know you, Joseph.
Joseph, you've got to know Joseph.
But you are the best. I just remember your comment on one of these about your ride is rolling, and I love that phrase. So I'm taking it as my own, if you don't mind.
He makes us look like slackers.
Yeah.
Then we've got Shreek. Hey, Houston's here. Good to see you, Shreek. Very, very good. Oh, another West Coast guy, California guy, David Hansen, the king of kindness out there in Orange County.
Absolutely. David, another person I have not met in person, but you, just what I see and hear, you are one of the kindest people out there.
Oh, heart of gold. He has a heart of gold.
Then there's Samantha, my BFF. Hi, Will and Grace. Hi, Sammy.
How are you doing? Oh, and Dr. M from India. Look. We've gone global here, Grace. This is a pretty big deal.
Who knew?
We've got Michelle from Indiana. Hello to Michelle. Talk about another kind heart. Everybody should follow her. She's just helped me through so many dark moods. I can tell you she's a super big help. We've got my friend Claudia. Lisbon's in the house. We've got Portugal. Europe is covered. Isn't that fantastic?
We are global. Who knew?
Let's see who else is joining us. And look at this, a former Met colleague of ours.
Eileen.
Very good to see you. Very, very good to see you.
Chris Singh is also on the line, a Met colleague. Hi, Chris.
Oh, there. Yes, you very good eyes. There we go. Christopher Singh. I knew him when he was just a student, and now he's like keeping New York City safe. He does like lots of great things. I mean, it's incredible the people that we've met. Okay. I will keep an eye on this comment list and chat. Want to jump in. Talk a little bit about the topic today, right? It's about fresh starts. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and we've talked about this, Grace. I probably, maybe you too, always thought of myself as the person that would be carried out of the Met feet first. I had no plans of ever leaving, and I loved what I did. I loved the teams that I worked with, and just totally fell in love with staff, colleagues, the visitor. But the pandemic changed everything, right? We were thrust into this life and death moment, this scary moment, and something within me had clicked and just thought, I need to do something else, right? Putting to bed all the wonderful years and all the wonderful people that I'd worked with and all of those experiences, and thinking to myself, okay, trust that gut, go. And I did, right? You and I, probably about the same time a
Yeah.
year ago, announced you were going west and I was flying south. And I spent months down in Brazil with Manuel, my husband.
Which is where I
So
hope to visit you next.
the room's ready. We'll make sure it's painted before you show up. So that's what I want to talk about, fresh starts. I just shared with you, and I've shared with many on this, my profile, the things that inspire me and why I wanted to make change. And so the purpose of these weekly broadcasts is really to bring to life the people that have inspired me. And Grace Brady, you have inspired me because we were in a war room with lots of people. We were in a war room trying to figure out, how do you keep staff and colleagues and visitors safe and healthy? No one knew it back in the spring and summer of 2020 what was going to happen. And through that work, it touched my soul. We became close, and we make changes. What in that particular experience made you pack up the New York life that you lived and fly out west?
Well, first I have to say, you inspire me on a regular basis because you're such a positive person. There's probably a handful of people in my life who when I think of them, I just think positivity, and you are one of those five. So thank you for that. Yeah, the war room taught us a lot about ourselves, definitely taught a lot about me. I didn't have my finest moments there. I had some very fine moments. I was very human. I hoped and I tried to make amends to those I might have offended. It was very heated at times. But in the end, it was a real testament to what a team can do of varying experiences and backgrounds and trying to get to the one place of keeping people safe and reopening. And it was just a pleasure working with you, Will, and learning from you. I was contemplating moving west prior to the pandemic, but not very seriously. I have a brother out here, and my favorite human on the earth is my 13-year-old nephew. If anybody knows me, they know that. And I wanted to be closer to him. And so
Those youngins are always
oh,
filled with
he
inspiration.
graduates Friday from 8th grade, and he's really just the best. Um, and also, my mother is aging. She lives with me now in California. She did not live with me back east, and we wanted to be closer to family, and the pandemic sort of cemented that. So it was the right decision, and I was able to retire from the Met, which I had many great years there, learned a tremendous amount, met great colleagues, continued to keep up with them. So that was the reasoning for me, was to be closer to family. Having said that, it was scary. It still is a little bit. I've been here about a year. So I've done a 180 in my life, especially at this age. I didn't think that I would be doing that, but it's exciting. It's challenging. I learn something new every day, and I just try to be better every day. And some days I fail miserably, and some days I rise to the occasion, I'd like to think.
You bring up something that is obvious, right? We talk about age, and I don't want this to be a show about aging, right? This isn't sponsored by ARP or anything like that.
Right.
But we are, right? We go through life, and I see aging as just a beautiful thing. I'm never
Yeah.
shy about age. I never go back to a former version of myself, just because I think we get better with time, or we should be if we're paying attention to this thing called life. But what tips would you give someone watching this age less, right? But
Yeah.
even someone our age, to what makes you just up and move? I'm always, I've never left New York. My husband and I have another place in a different country, but that was easy because that was from his life. So I was able to go in. You really just picked up and started a new life. What tips
Yeah.
would you give someone who wants to do something new
Well, I think
when
the
people
thing,
would tell you not to? Sorry
yeah,
to interrupt.
sorry for interrupting. One thing I've always felt, and it doesn't always work with me, but I think once you make a decision, you do not look back because there's always the what ifs. Like sometimes I think, oh, if I stayed at the Met, there was a new security chief who I really liked. I knew who was coming in, and I'm actually doing some contract work still with her. However, I thought, oh man, if I was still there, maybe I would be learning more, doing better. But you can't think like that. What I think is you make the decision. And for me, I just had to trust that it was the right one to be near my family. I was really missing part of my family. And for my mom's sake, it's her youngest grandson, and she's 91. And so life is short, right? And so
Right.
just made the decision. And because I was able to retire, when I say retire, I mean I'm 56 right now. I still need to work,
Right.
but having worked at the Met, I get medical benefits, which is a huge concern. And
Right.
so that gave me some freedom to do what I'm doing. Having said that, cross country with a 91-year-old woman who I love dearly, but living with now, I mean, my life is completely different, but it's also very good. We have a puppy who's feisty. I met a wonderful man. That was just
I'm kind of jealous, but that's
you have yours
okay.
that I feel blessed about, and so there's so many things. The weather, I'm really loving the weather. Um, there are things I'm still adjusting to. I mean, it takes time, but I you have to trust in your decision. And even though there will be days you'll be like, what was I thinking? Or should I have done that? Don't second guess. Go forward, move forward, stay positive, and trust that what your decision is the right decision. There's a book that I always a phrase from a book that I always refer to have for a long time in my life, and it's always we begin again, and it's a Benedictine monk.
Oh, that'd
It's
be
their
great.
way of
Later,
life.
if you could put it in the comments, just in case there's some
Sure.
people who
I
didn't hear it.
forget who wrote it, but it's the Benedictine monk way of life. Now, I'm not suggesting I want to be a Benedictine monk, but always we begin again is so simple to me.
Right.
And you can say that whenever, like in the morning, you could say it if you have an argument with someone after, maybe I won't do that again. So that's sort of my philosophy. We're not perfect. We make a lot of mistakes. I mean, during the pandemic, that's one thing I learned. I was becoming somebody I didn't know, and I thought, I know I'm not this person. I'm nicer than this person, I think. So, um, yeah, I just made the decision, and then part of the change was I told myself I'm going to become healthier mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and it takes work. And I've been doing that this year, and I feel much better. And but it's a process. I mean, I miss my friends in New York greatly. Um, oh, there's my Samantha. Well, wise, I don't know about that, but
You
so
are wise, Grace.
there, and with this platform, Will, I thank you because you were able to keep up with people that I wouldn't be able to. Like you said before, when we were in the green room, we're able to see each other now
I
and
I have
connect.
to admit, and thank you for that, because we are of that age, right? We're of that time in life where we're like in the middle of generations, right? We're not the new young cool kids,
Right.
and we're not, our parents' age, right? Manuel and I took time off, and we went down to Brazil for months because my mother-in-law is turned 97 while we were there, right? And
Wow.
those moments in life are so precious. And what
Right.
you just said, we only have one life. We don't live forever. Enjoy them. And while you and I both enjoyed what we did for decades, the world changed for the world. The world changed for everyone. And I believe those moments, and especially in the last couple of years, made us go inside and think about what is important. So to hear you talk about how you took that chance and you just decided to do something new, much of the world will try to talk you out of it. I know when I talked about leaving and what I loved, right? It was in my cells. It's still in my cells. I can't go to the Met without looking at 10 different things that need to be looked at or a visitor to be helped because when it's in you, it's in you. But my biggest fear was losing the connection to what I thought, here's the self-proclaimed people person, and you put yourself out of business because you're no longer in one of the busiest places on the planet to welcome people and to work with people.
Right.
This platform has completely changed this. It's, scrolling through the comments to be able to see so many people from different parts of the world. And the recorded version of this lives forever, Grace. So be careful about what you say because you can't wipe it off the internet, right?
Oh boy.
It lives forever. But
I'm
all joking
swearing
aside,
much less. I am swearing much less.
That's very good. It's a family show now. This is a professional
You can
platform.
imagine is beyond excited. And actually, the man I'm seeing, he goes, I can't imagine you swearing. I said, well, you didn't know me back in the pandemic in the Zoom meetings.
But we all had those moments.
We sure did.
I'm looking here through the chat because I want to make sure I'm not missing any questions.
Lori.
And please, everybody, pop
Lori
into the
Rosses.
chat. Lori, I'm conspiring to do something with Lori one of these days. Lori, you've got to get up here.
Lori is one of the smartest people I know. The woman does not sleep. She writes more books. She works. She's a lawyer. She just
follow Lori, folks.
Hilarious. You have to follow Lori for sure.
My friend Claudia from Portugal, I was going to say Brazil, because she used to be from Brazil. She and her husband did this before the pandemic. Oh. They just picked up, moved, bought an apartment before it was even built, and now they're living their best life out in Lisbon.
That's great.
Which is just fantastic. Oh, look at this, Tina Fox.
Oh, Tina.
Oh, Tina appeared on social media. This is special, Grace.
This is big.
That's so great.
Tina, right back at you. The Met would not be anywhere without you. Oh my gosh, Eileen. Eileen remembers my birthday. She's the sweetest person and the best photographer around. So you need photography.
At the 25-year club last week, I saw Eileen standing on a pedestal taking photos. I haven't seen the photos yet, but I'm sure they're wonderful.
Eileen's the best. Oh, the ride is rolling, Joseph.
The ride is rolling.
Well, one thing I wanted to say too about fresh starts, for the people who are still at the Met and other people in long-term jobs, I used to say to myself, oh, I better not be here in 5 years. I better not be here in 10 years, but I was blessed with my career at the Met and then left and came back and blessed again. But, fresh starts can happen even if you're in the same position, because I think it's how you make choices on how you react or how you're going to approach the day. And I totally get that it's easier said than done when you're not in maybe a very stressful environment. But I applaud all of you who are, still doing the hard work at the Met, and because it's still not easy. I know that because I have some connection there with working with security. So just take each day as it comes and do the best you can. And
you are absolutely totally right. And I think that's why the longevity that I experienced at the Met was I never had the same. I might have been there for decades. I've been there, but I had different jobs, different teams, different people, and every day is a new set of people from around the world that came in. It was a blessing. We have some other old friends here. Look who's graced us.
Oh, Diogo.
He's now at the New York Public Library. Great to see you. Another Portuguese descendant here joining us. Great to see you, Diogo.
Great manager, Diogo.
Fantastic manager. Great people person.
Oh,
okay, Lori, you two take it on the road, but it seems like you are Mariah, thank you. Yes, aging isn't easy.
Totally.
Not easy at
No.
all.
Mariah, I was saying that to my family and friends. My mom had a few health issues. She's 91. And you're absolutely right. It is not for sissies. So enjoy
Not
each
at
day.
all. Not at all.
Take it as it comes. Living
Um,
in the moment.
Live in the moment. Michelle is really very good at doing that. I was having a complete and total nervous breakdown at one point down in Brazil, and we stay in touch,
That's
Michelle,
great.
David Hansen, and I. And she really taught me something. You've got to feel it to heal it. And it's really one of those things that I took to heart.
It's true.
Sometimes you just have to lie down on the sofa and stare up at the ceiling and know that it's okay to not always have the answers, right?
And also, you have to go through it to get it past. You can't just ignore it, how you're feeling. Or not that I'm a psychiatrist, although I've had put somebody's kids through college.
We have another friend from India.
Oh,
Thank you for tuning in today. So
that's
really,
nice.
other questions from the group, just pop them in because I
Can I just take one moment of positivity? So
take all the moments.
anybody that knows me knows that I'm a huge Rafael Nadal fan. Yesterday, if you're a
That's
tennis person,
sports, right?
that is sports. It's okay, my friend. It's not bad.
Yeah, I don't do
The
sports.
French Open is happening. Rafael Nadal beat the number one Djokovic yesterday, and now he's on his way to the semifinal. I would like everyone in this group to send some positive vibes to Rafa. So that's my PSA.
And
So
I just learned something new. I learned about a sports related thing. Isn't that fantastic?
see that?
Totally fantastic. So tell me, Grace, I really want to know, since you left a year ago, how many people have reached out to you, right? You touched upon it. How did you do it? You're so brave. What do you tell people who are trying to
Yeah, it's
do
interesting.
what we did?
People say to me, use the word courageous and brave, and you know what? They're not words I use to describe myself generally. I mean, I'm a strong person, don't get me wrong. Anybody who knows me, I'm kind of direct and I can handle myself. But brave and courageous are two different things. And I guess I was and am, but you have to trust in yourself, and you have to, I mean, I have a faith also. When
Mhm.
faith, whatever your faith is, or in something higher, you have to believe that what's meant to be is meant to be. That doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing or make no decisions,
Right.
but that you're not alone. That, look to your friends and look to your family for support. um, but no, spend time with yourself and your thoughts. Like, am I happy? Am I content? Happiness is fleeting, right? But contentment,
Right.
if you're not, and the older we get, vamos Rafa, yes. To, you know, if you don't make decisions or make a choice, then you're never going to go anywhere with yourself. I mean, not physically, because you take yourself where you go. People are like, oh, yeah, how do you like the first 2 months? Do you love LA? Do you love? And I go, I have to be honest. I said, it's a big change. I'm not there yet.
Right.
I'm taking it a day at a time. But you take yourself with you. So anything I was dealing with in New York, it's not like it's left in New York and all of a sudden I'm happy LA beach bum. So
For me, what happened, Grace, is that over the last few years, and the pandemic and the lockdowns really changed it all. I I'm not shy about talking. I'm not shy about wanting to do more of what we're doing right now,
right.
talking and speaking and writing. Because I found, and my tagline and all the kind of business stuff you do on this platform, during our tenure, right? We traveled the same amount of time. We were part of teams and we were part of something really special where in that period of time, that was 150 million guests, visitors, customers, patrons that came to visit the place that we worked for and that we loved. And that's a huge responsibility. And um, we had different responsibilities. So I always played in the public realm. And I had always thought about, wow, what does this mean? All of these souls washed over me to change me in some sort of way. So it seems like it would be very odd for the very thing that you've loved, the very thing that formed you, right after the lockdowns and shortly after that, that you'd walk away from it. And people have asked me about that, but you loved it. Why did you walk away?
Right.
I just think it unleashed something in me where I felt, and I think you do too, you need to do something more. If
Right.
we can, each individual, and I'm not preaching that I have some sort of magic formula, if each of us have something within that we're good at, or something that we want to share, even if you're not so good at it, but you want to share, I think it's a responsibility to do just that.
Right.
And that for me, in terms of a fresh start, right? It's many things. Yes, it's career, it's money, it's health benefits, it's family. But when you've got that burning desire inside to use your presence and to use your words in a way that you can help others, that's really great. Oh wow, Manuel's name has popped up here. Joseph, 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 Joseph.
Manuel,
That. Thank you, Joseph. I would have been in trouble if I didn't see
if
Manuel's
you
comment.
if you do not make decisions for yourself, life will end up making decisions for you. Absolutely.
Full disclosure, everyone, that's my husband. Happy Pride Month, everybody. And he's really my biggest supporter. And
The
um,
thing too with fresh starts or making decisions, I think about this a lot too, is fear and not being comfortable and even suffering, when but all of that is a positive if you look at it the right way. Life is scary. I mean, right?
totally scary.
In
I
different,
mean, we were
whether
in the
it's
scariest times we can
children
imagine.
or, yeah.
Right.
Or if you're not comfortable. I mean, I'm somebody who loves, if I had my way, I'd stay home most of the time. I love my bed. I love reading, but you have to get out there, right? And that's different for different people. I mean, I know I need my downtime to energize myself. Whereas I have friends who can go, go, go. And I'm impressed by that. And I'm like, oh, I wish I had a little of that, but I don't. I know what I need to get myself going. So starting over on something, it is scary and uncomfortable, but look at the great things that come from when I think about my life now. I mean, I'm near my nephew, my family. I met a wonderful man. My mom is healthy and with me, so, and I'm getting some contract work and people are reaching out for me about other positions. So you have to trust. It all comes down to
You're
trust.
absolutely positively right. Another comment here, Diogo. I think he was thinking our show, the Will and Grace Show, or you talk about the Will and Grace Show. We were moving on while we were on top. I love to think of that. You certainly moved on when you were on top there, Diogo. So thank you for that.
Great. Oh, I have one quote I read this yesterday, if I may, which I thought was appropriate for this.
This is your time, Grace. You can say whatever you like.
It's by C.S. Lewis. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. And
absolutely beautiful.
Share that.
So Grace, as we're wrapping up, right? I try to keep this to half an hour. We've got 2 minutes left. Lots of activity in the chat, which I think is fantastic. And I love this community. I can't even begin to tell you.
Thank you all for joining and sending your positive thoughts.
What would you, I just, you just talked about it. What recharges you? What?
I definitely, I have a meditative prayer life in the morning. My first cup of coffee is probably the best thing on earth. I've been walking more. I'm taking a trip in Spain to walk the El Camino in September. So that's a goal for me to train more for that.
That the Paulo Coelho book?
Yes, I'm reading that, The Pilgrimage.
The Pilgrimage.
I'm reading that right now. So that's kind of a motivator to get moving again. But that's how I energize, but I have a lot of other responsibilities here with my mom and the dog and my work. So I'm just not somebody that gains energy by like being in a group, a big crowd. Like that does not energize me. It's fun and I do it, but then I need to come back and chill.
I think the thing that energizes me or chills that yes, I chill because I think the private side of me is quite low key. But when I'm in this public realm or things that I'm doing with public, I thrive off the energy of the crowd. Oh, absolutely need it and I crave it.
Yeah.
And that's the type of thing that I'm wanting to do much more. Grace, we're wrapping up. We're at the 12:30 mark. I want to see if anybody else in the chat has anything to say. Oh, there's Jen, another museum person down from the Whitney Museum. Great to see you, Jen. Thanks for coming. Maybe you can wait and we'll go together, or maybe Manuel and I will join you. Nutrition, energy. I keep going and going. That's great. Another Jen. It's the Jen energy.
Jen, that's like a friend of mine, Lisa. I never met anybody with such energy. Thank you, Mariah.
Thank you, Mariah. Really great. And really, Grace, thank you. As we say goodbye here for this particular broadcast, I want to thank you for coming here. And I want everybody to connect with you, connect with Grace Brady. She's a nice person. She may have described herself as a dark person during some of those days, but the world was in a dark place, Grace. So go easy on yourself.
Okay, I will. Well, thank you all. Thanks, Will. Happy to join you. Derek Swift. Oh, Derek Swift's also a Met person. If you want any cool kicks, he's starting to make sneakers. So plug for Derek Swift.
How come you know that and he didn't tell me? Derek will talk later. We'll just talk
my
later.
friend, you have to, you know.
I'm in the same city, for God's sakes. Okay?
Yes, you are.
Well, thank you,
Grace.
Everybody who tuned in. You know this is recorded, so you can watch back, you can share it. I think Grace is a wonderful human being and a loving soul, and I'm so
back at you, my friend.
to know you and that you joined me here today.
Until next time.
Until next time, definitely come back because we really want to have you back so you can talk about your next series, your Netflix series, what you're doing as a solo act, right?
Happy to do it.
And we've got lots of goodbyes happening here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. And don't be afraid to follow that inner voice and just do what you want to do.
Trust. That's the word, trust.
Okay, bye, everybody. See you next week. Take care.
Peace. Vamos, Rafa.
Sports. Take care. Bye, guys.